Hey friends, we're back with American Miscellany. So this book was published in 1865. It's a very, as you can see, a very long book filled with a bunch of completely random essays on random topics, and sometimes the essays themselves are rather long. So that's what this essay is. Essay number 155, called Curiosities of Art, is rather long, so I've been kind of chunking it up into little pieces. Our last little bit was called Calculating Machines. That was essay 155, part 2. So we're now here on page 400, moving on to part 3 of Curiosities of Art, Miniature Machinery. All right, let's learn together, friends. Essay 155, Curiosities of Art, part 3, Miniature Machinery. Much skill and perseverance have been displayed by the ingenious in all ages in the construction of miniature objects, the purposes to be gained being minuteness of proportions with delicacy of finish. Veritable watches have been set in finger rings, a dinner set with all its appurtenances placed in a hazelnut, and a coach and four enclosed in a cherry stone. Beyond the mere training of the hand and eye to the accomplishment of delicate work, there can be nothing gained by such exhibitions of ingenuity. And were it not for this acquirement, we might safely pronounce all these tiny inventions as the offspring of ingenious trifling. Cicero, according to Pliny's report, saw the whole Iliad of Homer written in so fine a character that it could be contained in a nutshell. And the Aeolian speaks of one Myrmecides, a Milesian, and of Callicrates, a Lacedaemonian, the first of whom made an ivory chariot so small and so delicately framed that a fly with its wings could at the same time cover it, and a little ivory ship of the same dimensions. The second formed ants and other little animals out of ivory, which were so extremely small that their component parts were scarcely to be distinguished with the naked eye. He states also in the same place that one of those artists wrote a distich in gold letters, which he enclosed in the rind of a grain of corn. The tomb of Confucius, a miniature model of Chinese workmanship, is considered as the most elaborate, costly, and beautiful specimen of Oriental ingenuity ever imported into Europe. It is chiefly composed of the precious metals and Japan work, and adorned with a profusion of gems, but its chief value consists in the labor expended on its execution. Its landscapes, dragons, angels, animals, and human figures would require several pages of description, which, after all, would, without a view of the model, prove tedious and unintelligible. The late Mr. Cox of London declared it to be one of the most extraordinary productions of art he ever beheld, and that he could not undertake to make one like it for less than £1,500. Among the many curious works of art produced by the monks and nuns of ecclesiastical establishments, none have been so much admired as their fonts, real and in model. On these were often lavished vast sums, and all the ingenuity which the sculptor, carver, or worker in metal could command. The font of Raphael has long been known and admired. That executed by Acavala in 1562 and presented by an emperor of Germany to Philip II of Spain may be considered, however, as the most elaborate of these performances. The model is contained in a case of wrought gold and is itself of boxwood. The general design may be regarded as architectural, embellished with several compartments of sculpture or carving, consisting of various groups of figures in alto and basso relievos. These display different events in the life of Christ, from the Annunciation to his crucifixion on Mount Calvary. The groups are dispersed in panels and niches on the outside and in different recesses within. Some of the figures are less than 1/4 of an inch in height, but though thus minute, all are finished with the greatest precision and skill, and what renders this execution still more curious and admirable is the delicacy and beauty with which the back and distant figures and objects are executed. Though only 12 inches in height and from 1/2 inch to 4 inches in diameter, it is adorned with various architectural ornaments in the richest style of Gothic, and also figures of the Virgin and Child, a pelican with its young, 6 lions in different attitudes, several inscriptions, and 13 compositions of basso and alto relievo. The work is said to be of unrivaled merit and beauty, and will bear the most microscopic inspection. It was offered for sale in England about 30 years ago, but we are ignorant of its after destination. We have seen that Arnold, the London watchmaker, constructed a watch for George III, which was set in a finger ring, but this was nothing uncommon, for the Emperor Charles V, as well as James I of England, had similar ornaments in the jewels of their rings, and this species of mechanism is sometimes witnessed on a large scale in the bracelets of ladies. In Kirby's museum, notice is taken of an exhibition at the house of one Boverick, a watchmaker in the Strand, 1745, at which were shown, among other things, the following curiosities. First, the furniture of a dining room, with 2 persons seated at dinner, and a footman in waiting, the whole capable of being enclosed in a cherry stone. Second, a landau in ivory, with 4 persons inside, 2 postilions, a driver, and 6 horses, the whole fully mounted and habited, and drawn by a flea. And third, a 4-wheel open chaise, equally perfect, and weighing only 1 grain. Another London exhibitioner, about the same time, constructed of ivory a tea-table, fully equipped with urn, teapot, cups, saucers, etc., the whole thing being contained in a Barcelona filbert shell. In 1828, a mechanic of Plymouth completed a miniature cannon and carriage, the whole of which only weighed the 29th part of a grain. The cannon had bore and touch hole complete. The gun was of steel, the carriage of gold, and the wheels of silver. The workmanship was said to be beautiful, but could only be seen to advantage through a powerful magnifying glass. In the Mechanic's Magazine for 1845, mention is made of a high-pressure steam engine, the production of a watchmaker who occupies a stand at the Polytechnic Institute, so small that it stands upon a 4-penny piece, with ground to spare. It is, says our authority, the most curious specimen of minute workmanship ever seen, each part being made according to scale, and the whole occupying so small a space that, with the exception of the flywheel, it might be covered with a thimble. It is not simply a model outwardly, it works with the greatest activity by means of atmospheric pressure in lieu of steam. And the motion of the little thing, as its parts are seen laboring and heaving under the influence, is indescribably curious and beautiful.